This is Psalm 64 and 6. It says, they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. I like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle elders, the great millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shatir from the Chicago camp coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And here we got another video on TikTok talking about this mad scientist, bad Uncle Esau. So we're going to let this video play and we're going to get some scripture.
Massive breakthrough. Whatever it is that you're doing, I need you to watch this video because you or somebody that you know is probably going to be impacted by this technology at some point in the future. Okay, so scientists have created synthetic human embryos. And before you freak out, I've been studying this stuff for years. Let me explain. So right now, most people have probably heard of IVF. And so anybody that's experiencing fertility challenges, IVF might be a solution that they try, but it's really expensive. It's quite an invasive process. What if, instead of having to try to generate and harvest eggs or sperm, we could instead take a strand of hair or a skin cell or blood cell, convert that into a stem cell, and convert that stem cell into eggs or sperm? That, my friends, is a process called IVG. Right now we have IVF. I believe the next thing we're going to graduate to is IVG, in vitro gametogenesis. We will be able to conceive children in very different ways, using our cells, converting them into what's more scientifically called pluripotent stem cells, which means many potential. And we can convert those stem cells into embryonic cells. And for the record, this has already happened in mice. We've successfully taken cells from mice tails, turned that into sperm and egg, and then brought healthy mice babies to life. We're still years and years, if not a decade away from this being like a treatment humans can go do. But if we can figure this out, this is going to be such a game changer for people struggling with fertility challenges, whether that's producing eggs or sperm. For same-sex couples, the child could be biologically related to both parents, an absolute game changer. And I need you to keep this in mind before you make a judgment. When IVF first came to market in the 70s, it was seen as one of the most controversial technologies of the time. It was named the devil's technology. People said it was worse than the atomic bomb. It was banned in many countries, research on it, and thank goodness scientists persevered. Because look where we are today. Millions of babies have been born via IVF. So keep in mind that the future always seems much more overwhelming than the present. This is an incredible day for science. This is a massive...
There is nothing. This guy, like I said, this guy is a mad scientist. He is literally trying to be like the Most High and create life. Like, he is. This guy wants to be, literally wants to be God and control and create everything. He wants to create a human being from scratch. Then when they get older, download them with the G5480 so he can hack their soul. Come on, man. There is no limit to what this guy will try to do to achieve a God-like status, so he can literally be God. That's why it says, and you got one in Isaiah 14, I believe that is, and 13, where it says, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Let me go to Ezekiel 28. I'll start at 1. The word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith Yahweh power, because thy heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am the Most High, I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not the Most High, though thou set thy heart as the heart of the Most High. See? This devil is literally trying to be God. And see, this just goes to show that something's not right with this dude. Because let's read this again. Verse 2, Son of man, saying to the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the hour, because thy heart is lifted up. That might be a different one. Yeah, I think it's Isaiah 2 and 12, but let me just make sure. I'm going to get two of them. Yep, Habakkuk 2 and 4, and I'm going to get that Isaiah as well. Because this is the mentality of bad Uncle Esau. Isaiah 2 and... No, what was that? Isaiah... Yeah, 2 and 12. And it says, for the day of Yahweh of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. And who's the most proud person in the entire world? Who? Bad Uncle Esau, the nation of Edom. They are the most proud people in the world. This video says it all. They are literally trying to create life from scratch, even though they're technically not creating it from scratch, because they're using something that's already there, but it's still the concept of it. And the other one, let me get that. What was that? Was that Habakkuk 2 and 4? Let's see. Yep, Habakkuk 2 and 4. It says, because his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Because you got to be a real prideful and crazy man to believe that you are like God and you can just create life out of nothing. There's no other nation in this world that would like to boast such a thing other than the nation of Edom. It says, but the just shall live by faith. It says, yea, also, no, I don't need to read that one. I don't need to read that one, but yeah, this just goes to show you that this is the man, the most prideful man in the world. And that woman said, "Well, everybody, before you go all, remember back in the day, people used to say this is the devil's technology. It is the devil's technology. It's being thought of, spearheaded, and created and done by the devil, bad Uncle Esau, who is the wicked. This is the only man that makes such a boast and makes such boast on how he's accomplishing or trying to accomplish things that, quite frankly, just need to be left alone and need to be left in the hands of the Lord. If a couple can't get pregnant, then that's just what it is. And if by chance they really want to have a child, they need to consult with the Lord, because that's how it was done. back in the day, well, we go to the book of 1 Samuel 1 and 1. It says, "Now there was a certain man of Ramathaim, Zophim, of Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroam, the son of Eliu, the son of Tahu, the son of Zuph, an Ephrathite. And he had two wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. And this man went up out of his city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priest of the Lord, were there. And when the time was that Elkanah offered, he gave to Peninnah his wife and to all her sons and her daughters portions. But unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah, but the Lord had shut her womb. And her adversary also provoked her sore for to make her fret, because the Lord had shut her up, as he did so year by year when she went up to the house of the Lord. So she provoked her, therefore she wept and did not eat. Then said Elkanah her husband to her, Hannah, why weepest thou, and why eatest thou not? And why is thy heart grieved? Am not I better to thee than 10 sons? So Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli the priest sat upon the seat by a post in the temple of the Lord, and she was in bitterness of soul, and prayed unto the Lord, and wept sore. And she vowed a vow, and said, O Lord of hosts, if thou wilt indeed look on the affliction of thy handmaid, being barren, and remember me, and not forget thy handmaid, but will give unto thy handmaid a man child, then I will give him unto the Lord all the days of his life, and there shall no razor come upon his head." So this is a prime example of, if people just had a hard time conceiving, they consulted the Lord. All right. There was nothing about, well, let's go to another nation of people and see if they have some technology that can make us pregnant. No. They knew very well that if something happened where they just so happened to not be able to conceive, it was something that the Lord was doing. And the only thing that could cure it was the Lord. But this guy, bad Uncle Esau, he's in a whole nother realm of wickedness. Like I said, he's trying to create life from scratch. And now he's building technology where he can pretty much hack the human soul. That's the best way I know how to explain it. He will be able to have complete control over a human being, if you want to call it a human being. But we all know that bad Uncle Esau cannot put a soul in a body. Only the Lord can. As when we go to is it the first book of the Maccabees? Where is that? Let me put this on pause and find it. Here we go. Second Maccabees 7, and I'm going to start at 20. It says, "But the mother was marvelous above all and worthy of honorable memory. For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of one day, she bare it with a good courage because of the hope that she had in Yahweh. Yea, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courageous spirits, and stirring up her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach, she said unto them, I cannot tell how you came into my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life, neither was it I that formed the members of every one of you. But doubtless the creator of the world, who formed the generation of man and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again, as you now regard not your own selves for his law's sake." See, so only the Lord can truly give life into a being. So, bad Uncle Esau, you mad scientist, all this stuff you're doing is for naught. But you do have to fulfill your role as the devil. And as the devil, of course, you have to fool people with your technology. You have to make them think you always have a better way to improve on perfection. So that's all I wanted to say on this. I hope you all ratified. Till the next time, we're going to say shalom.